What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel, the voice of Dominican boxing, and today I want to recap last week's fights. Uh, just quick update. I have not seen the Haney fight. I was at the Deontay Wilder fight, so while I was there, I obviously was not watching the Haney fight. But from what I heard, it was a pretty dominant performance, and he took care of business. But yeah, first I want to start off by talking about the main event, Deontay Wilder, man. Deontay Wilder came in nice and thin, nice and thin, and at the weight he should have fought the the weight class, though the weight he should have fought Fury in my opinion. I felt like he came in too heavy for that fight, but he came in nice and thin for the fight against Hellenius. Came out boxing, moving around, and I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, I've never seen Wilder fight like this. Why is he on his toes, bouncing? And to my surprise, Hellenius went on to chasing Deontay Wilder. Why would you chase a puncher like that? To me, it was kind of a silly game plan. I thought it was a bad idea from the get-go, but that's what he decided to do. And boy, did he pay for it. First round knockout. And what's funny about that, matter of fact, let me start off with the Caleb Plant Anthony Dirrell fight. So first, some guy behind me, he was a casual. He ain't really know much about boxing. He told me, he's like, who you got winning, the white guy or the black guy? And I'm like, I know that Caleb Plant's gonna win. I'm like, oh, I got the white guy winning. You know what I'm saying? Hold on one second. I'm about to go live on IG as well, simultaneous. All right. Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, Caleb Plant's gonna win. Like, the white dude. And he was like, man, let's bet 20. I got 20. I got the black guy. So he bet me $20. I was like, all right, boom. Obviously, you guys know. Matter of fact, let me break that fight down. So Caleb Plant came out boxing well, going to the body, going to the head, mixing it up. Wasn't just one track minded as far as his attack. He turns around. He tells me, man, you've seen this fight before, man. You robbed me, man. You seen this fight. You know how it's going to play out. But then things start kind of evening out. So once things start evening out as far as the competition level and the scorecards, he's like, oh, but he's making a comeback. I'm like, okay, he's making a comeback. Let's see what happens. And then boom, one punch knockout by Caleb Plant. So the dude ended up having to pay me 20. So then the guy goes, yo, who you got in the main event? I was like, I got Wilder. Wilder's going to be Hellenius. So he's like, yo, let's bet another 20. I'm like, all right, whatever, bet another 20. And then whatever they do, the ring entrances and all that, boom. All right. Now the bell's about to ring. He goes, yo, Poppy. I turn around and he goes, yo, let's double it if it's a first round knockout. I was like, all right. And then Deontay Wilder comes out and starches this dude in the first round. So he ends up having to give me another 20. I'm like, yo, I made $60 just chilling, watching the fights, enjoying myself, having a good time, man. I had a really good time. I met a lot of people up from Twitter. It was definitely a lot of Dominicans as well that were there to support Michelle Rivera. Well, not a lot. There was a good amount. My section, one of my subscribers, shout out to Juan. He was out there supporting me, had brought his big ass Dominican flags. We was out there repping for Michelle. And overall, it was a good night of boxing. I do want to talk about Michelle Rivera's fight. Michelle Rivera, I'm not sure if it was ring rust, but he just didn't look as sharp as he usually does. He did look good in the sense that, he wasn't. It wasn't like he got dropped and he lost a bunch of rounds and it was a close fight. I thought he won every single round. I thought he dominated that fight, and I just expected a little bit more from him. You know what I'm saying? In the sense that I wanted to see him get that stoppage. Frank Martin stopped this guy, Jerry Perez. Like I wanted to see Michelle Rivera also get the stoppage. But again, all I can he put in a dominant performance. Did hurt him. I want to say it was in the 5th round. He did hurt him. And another thing about Rivera, I was surprised that the fight was an 8-round fight. I was like, come on, man. And I ran into Samson Lukowitz. He tells me, yo, where were all the Dominicans at to support? I ain't seen no Dominican flags. That's what he tells me. I'm like, bro, you got this guy fighting in an 8-round fight deep in the undercard of a pay-per-view. He's not even on the undercard of the pay-per-view. That's how disappointing it was, man. I was a bit disappointed with that response from him, to be honest with you. But I was excited that he was in the card here in New York. Nonetheless, I got to see him fight live. Hopefully, more people show up and show out. Once these Dominicans come start fighting in New York, as well as get the opportunities that I feel like we've been lacking. Hold on one second. Let me catch up to some of the comments. What did you think about Michelle Rivera's performance? I think he is lacking speed, explosiveness, got tired at the 7th round, and needs to keep his hands up. Otherwise, I guess he was going to get knocked out by Cruz or Tank. Well, as far as him getting tired in the 7th, I think this is because he went in for the kill in the 6th. So I'm not going to criticize him too much. When you go in for a knockout and you don't get it, it kind of takes something out of you. You guys remember that? I think that's what happened to Hector Luis Garcia in the Roger Gutierrez fight. In that 9th round, he really beat up Roger Gutierrez, put hands on him. But then he kind of got tired, and that's why he lost the last 3 rounds. Some people say he won that 12th round, but point is most people think he lost the last 3. And it's because he got a little bit gas because he went for the stoppage in the 9th. I'm not going to criticize it. As far as him lacking speed, and explosiveness, I don't think that's true. I just think he looked a little rusty to me. His last fought in March. So, it's kind of a long time. And then the opponent, he found out who the opponent was kind of last minute. Kind of wasn't a fan of how his fight was put together. It wasn't like he knew who he was going to fight the whole time. But yeah. Jared Anderson is fighting Jerry Forrest on the Tio versus Pedraza undercard, by the way. That's interesting. That's okay. I like that. I'm a big fan of Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson is a young American heavyweight who I'm high on. He's one of those. He got swag, he got power. I've seen him fight live. I've seen him fight southpaw and orthodox. I'm pretty sure he's more of an orthodox fighter. But point is, he's trying stuff in the gym. I like Jared Anderson. He was my prospect of the year last year, so I'm looking forward to seeing him on that undercard. Karma, yes, I was there. I was surprised I didn't see you. I was hanging out with all the guys. I was hanging out with all the guys throughout the whole undercard, and I think you met up with them after the fight. I ain't chill with nobody after the fight. I was my father's ride. I went with my father and my brother, and I was their ride, so I had to be with them. And so that's why you ain't seen me. But yeah, I was at the fight. I was hoping to meet you, but unfortunately, we didn't get to meet. Collazo knocks out Rosa like Wilder did Hellenius. Yo, Big Fish Vegas, stop that, man. You my guy, Vega. You my guy. But you know damn well Mini Pac-Man beats him. Come on, man. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that that buffoonery on my chat, man. He dominates the fight, but he needs to work on his explosive hand speed and stamina. I mean, first of all, speed, honestly, speed is not really something you can really work on. It's the same thing with explosiveness. And stamina, that's the only time I've seen him tired. Like, what other did he get tired in a Adorno fight? Did he get tired in the Ladarius Miller fight? Did he get tired in the fight against John Fernandez? Did he get tired in the Mercado fight? Nah, like I listen. Everybody's entitled to an off night. Everybody's entitled to an off night. I'm not gonna be too critical of him. Again, he got the opponent last minute. It's also hard to get up. Like, honestly, this is something I think this might have been the situation with Michelle. It's hard to get up for a fight against a guy like you still fighting the same level of competition and you're not moving up at all, and you can't compete at that level. And I think Michelle Rivera can compete at that level. I really do. So it's hard to really get up and put your best performance every single time. Like, come on, man. Stop that. Stop that. If he wants to beat Tank or Cruz, he needs to get better, especially his defense. It only take one punch from Tank. Well, I don't know why you threw Cruz in there. Yo, who the fuck has Isaac Cruz is so overrated. Who has Isaac Cruz beat? Who has Isaac Cruz beat to beat his world beater? He had a close fight with Tank, where some people say Tank had a hurt hand. And that's it. That's your claim to fame. What? You gonna give him credit for that Francisco Vargas fight? He couldn't even stop the wash Francisco Vargas, and he was using his head and elbow and fighting all dirty. Y'all don't remember that? Oh, what about what his win against Gamboa? Like, stop that, man. Isaac Cruz is soft. Like, I'll put any Dominican in against Isaac Cruz, Michel Rivera, or Edwin De Los Santos. I'm telling you, that dude is overrated, man. I'm telling you, y'all heard it here. When y'all wondering, oh, you know what? I bet you in a year from now, you guys are gonna be like, damn, I really thought Isaac Cruz was something. Nah, it's just clever matchmaking. That dude is not that good. He's not. I'm sorry. He's not. I don't know, man. There's certain dudes that I could see through, man. I could see through it. Another one that's like this is that I think is overrated is Gary Antoine Russell. And I know a lot of people disagree with me. Yo, he gets hit too easy. He gets hit way too easy. And if you look at that Bartholomew fight in the first round, he got hurt bad. Like in the last 20 seconds, he got caught. I want to say it was with a straight left and was dancing on ice skates, looking crazy. And my mindset is, okay, that's Francis Bartholomew doing that to you. What about when it's a Subriel Matias doing that to you? Or Elvis Rodriguez doing that to you? Or Teofimo Lopez or Josh Taylor? Like, I don't think he's at that level, man. I really don't. You could say, yeah, Gary Antoine Russell is developing. He's still young, but nah, he just fights at one speed. Aggressive. That's not a way to fight, bro. You don't get hurt that way. You really are. Who do you think Edwin should fight next? I doubt it will be the top guys, but what decent fight you think? I mean, hey, man, if we could get that Pitbull Cruz fight, that would be very exciting. You know what's funny? I can't talk on that. But let's just say I've spoken to some people in Edwin De Los Santos camp, and I'm liking the fights that are coming out of that camp. What they telling me is in the works. I can't talk too much. Y'all know if I say it here and then it goes out in the news, there's certain people, they're not going to want to give me information. But since y'all my peoples, just know y'all going to like Edwin De Los Santos' next opponent. Y'all going to, when it gets announced and they talk about January, there you go. I can give you that. They talk about him coming back in January. So when the fight gets announced, just know you guys are going to be comfortable and happy with it. By the way, speaking of that, this Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, I will be interviewing Edwin De Los Santos and Michel Rivera and who else? Starling Castillo, all their promoter in Samson Lukowitz. I will be interviewing him on this Sunday. So all those Edwin De Los Santos and Michel Rivera questions that you guys got, I will be asking. You know, guys know always I throw the link up for anybody to call in and talk, so I will be doing that. It says all black channels are saying that Michel Rivera isn't on the league of Tank, Haney, Shakur, and Lomachenko. They don't want to give him the opportunity because they know he is dangerous. Whatever. If he's that easy of a fight, then take the fight. That's all I gotta say. Just take the fight. If he's that easy of a fight, knock him out. Because according to Big Fish Vega, Rivera's overrated, right? Okay, so knock this overrated guy out because people are overrating him. People are looking at him as higher than who he should be. Then go in the ring, sign the contract, and knock him out in the first round if it's that easy. But no, they ain't gonna do that. They'll look to fight somebody else. Like, come on, man. Like, Wait, hold on. I'm gonna address Big Fish Vega. Nothing says wow when you watch Rivera. To me, his poise is what makes me say wow. And this last fight was not a good example of it. But if you watch the fight against John Fernandez, minus the flash knockdown, yo, that was a beautiful performance, man. Just smooth, showing great defense, using a great jab, and then ended it with a highlight reel type knockout. Man, that was a beautiful performance. Joseph Adorno, a lot of people were high on Joseph Adorno. Oh, Joseph Adorno is the next big thing. Joseph Adorno this, Joseph Adorno that. What happened to Joseph Adorno? Joseph Adorno decided to box. He got his face jabbed off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I disagree, man. I disagree with you. I think Michelle Rivera is a good fighter. Now, does he beat all those guys I just mentioned that I just read? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. But point is, we won't know unless he gets the opportunity. He keeps fighting at the same level. And honestly, this fight was a step back. That fight, Jerry Perez was a step back from what's his name? Joseph Adorno. And by the way, I'm not blaming Michelle Rivera in any kind of way. Michelle Rivera has said that he wants the big fights. He wants Haney. He wants Tank. He wants Rolly. He wants who else? He said he wants all those guys, but they're not giving him the fight. I can't get mad at him for fighting the level of competition he is. He's not being put in position. I love Edwin De Los Santos' explosive hand speed and combination. I think he needs to improve his balance and defense. Hey, man, when you hit that hard, man, you can get away with a lot of shit. Look at Deontay Wilder. Yeah, those who follow my page closely, know that I'm not that high on Deontay Wilder's skill level. But guess what? He got power. So a lot of those deficiencies that he has, he makes up for it with just one shot. Like, look, perfect example of that was in the second Luis Ortiz fight. He was losing the whole fight, and then all he did was land one and got him out of there. So a lot of times power gets you away with a lot of like your deficiencies. And Edwin De Los Santos, I'll disagree that he needs to work on his defense. He actually is a good boxer. Maybe his poise and his I guess patience as well he may need to work on. But honestly, I'm as high on Edwin De Los Santos as I am in any other Dominican, to be honest with you. Yeah. Isn't Michelle Rivera taller and stronger than Haney with way more power, better jab, and better footwork? I don't think he has a better jab. And I think he has more power, better footwork. I don't know. And I think Michelle Rivera is taller than Haney, if I'm not mistaken. But listen, man, they got to put my man in position, man. They really do. They got to put my man in position for a big fight. Got to put my man in for a big fight. I listen. I think Devin Haney is between Devin Haney and Dimitri Bivol who got the best jab in boxing. Like, it's between them two. So that's why I say, like, listen, Michelle Rivera's jab is nasty, man. It is a good jab. It is an elite jab. I don't think it's better than Haney's, man. Haney, I think he got the best jab in boxing. I'm gonna put the link up in the description if y'all want, in the chat, excuse me. If y'all guys want to call in, man, and have a conversation with me, the link is thrown up. You know, I'm always throwing the link for anybody who wants to call in, ask me something, or don't ask me about who Edwin De Los Santos' opponent is. I'm not gonna tell you, but just know. But anyways, anybody wants to call in, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Go ahead, hit that up, and call in, and we can have a conversation. Hold on 1 second. Boom. All right. There you go. So the link is pinned to the top of the chat. But anybody who wants to call in and have a conversation, please do. Well, but what's popping in the world of boxing news, man? Because we living in a slow time. Oh, by the way, did y'all see the women fight? Shout out to Alicia Baumgartner and what's her name? Clarissa Shields. Both put it in great performance. The Alicia Baumgartner fight, that's a fight that could have gone either way. Any of those two women could have won. When the fight started, I thought Baumgartner was gonna win by knockout, man. She was so sharp and landing so clean on Mayer. And as the fight went on, I saw it getting. Oh, hold on! I got my man Big Fish Vega. Big Fish Vega, what's going on, brother? You gotta unmute your mic.
Yo, can you hear me?
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh man, I thought my headset would be connected. It's all good. No,
You,
man,
you
you were
good?
just talking
No.
about the women's fight, man. I gotta say, man, those fights were very competitive. It was actually more skilled than I anticipated. Normally when we get these women fights, when they're matched up, it's usually like an outmatched opponent. So it
Yeah.
was nice to see that competition out there, both fights. It was a nice clash of styles, I think, with the Bumgarner versus Mayer. Bumgarner was using more her reflexes, creating angles with her footwork, and Mayer was coming forward. She had the better jab, and she brought volume. It was funny though because Bumgarner seemed to be outboxing her at first, but once Mayer turned it up, I thought the fight got more complicated, and I love to see the little chess match. So that was a good match. That was a good fight, and I hope they do run back, whether it be next or whether it be after. I know the Korean girl that has the other belt just fought. She won. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, let it build up more. You get one fight in between and running back. I think that's always the best for rematches. You know what I mean? Instead of
One
just
fight in
running
between.
straight
You don't
at.
like immediate. You don't like immediate rematches.
Unless it's like highly controversial. Like when Canelo and Triple G were gonna rematch immediately. That made more sense. But it was a close competitive fight, like you said. Could have went either way. I know a lot of people that watched the Sky broadcast had
Who you
Mayer
thought
winning.
won? Who you thought won?
I had it a draw, to be honest.
You had it a draw. I had Baumgartner winning 6-4, but I could easily see a 6-4 the other way. I'm not one of these. I won't. I'm not a fanboy anyway. I'm not necessarily a fan of either woman. But yeah, I thought Baumgartner won. But again, if somebody tells me, hey, I had a 6-4 Mayor, I wouldn't disagree. And even a draw. I don't know. Vega, you cut out. I don't know. That wasn't me who booted you off. I don't know if you meant to hang up, but yeah, I thought Baumgartner won. I felt like she won the first 2-3 rounds very very clearly, and then she won 3 rounds throughout the whole fight. Like the remaining rounds after the first 3 rounds, I thought she won at least three, and yeah, and I thought she won 3 rounds. And as far as the Clarissa Shields fight, man, I loved how she came out and set the tone early that she was the boss in the ring, dominated that first round, but to the point where I thought she was gonna I thought she was eventually gonna stop her. The fight ended up becoming a little bit more competitive towards the end, but I think it only became competitive because Clarissa started to gas a little bit those last 2-3 rounds, and I think she gave those away. But she put so much money in the bank in the early rounds that she could afford to lose those last 2-3 rounds. And I thought she put in a great performance. What do you make of that performance?
Man, Shields, man. In the beginning, I think a lot of people I saw agreed like that pace. That was a tough pace to keep on. She didn't have to fight that way. It was to me, it was obvious she was choosing to do that. She wanted to hurt Savannah Marshall. As the fight went on, she was throwing shots.
Yep. I don't know. You cut out, bro. Yo, what's up with your cricket ass?
Throwing.
What's up with your fucking cricket ass internet service, man? Cutting out. Yo, you hear me?
Yeah, it's my Wi-Fi, man. I'm on an extender, and I guess the extender's not working well. My bad.
Yeah, man. What's up? You in the woods? Where you at? Where you at?
No, no, you can hear me now.
I can hear you now, but where you at? Where you at? You in New York?
No, 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 no. I'm in. I live in Florida. I live in South Florida. I was on the extender, and I guess I went out of range. So my
Florida, you a
bad.
Florida man then?
Yeah, yeah. Born Jersey, but raised out here in Florida,
All right,
Palm
all right.
Beach, man. Living the life.
Now, hey, listen, I would love to live out there, bro. Yeah, I love Miami, Fort Lauderdale. I love that whole area, man. But I would love to live out there, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, I don't have a like I guess the means to move down. Not the means, but like I wouldn't have a job if I moved down there. So that's the only reason. But I would love to live out there.
Yeah,
Unless you got a
man.
job for me out there, what's up?
Nah, man. You don't want to do my work. I tell you that. You probably better off what you're doing.
Nah, I'm trying to get the fuck out of New York, man. This shit is getting too dangerous. And there's they doing the stupidest shit here in New York, bro. There's already parking that's bad. Now they put in fucking bike lanes. They put in the bike rentals taking parking spaces. Now they put in no standing, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. People are gonna have to start parking and flying their car and parking it on top of their house. That's how crazy this shit out here is, man.
That shit turning real hippie out there, from what I've seen. Every time I go visit, every now and then I can see a little more. The way that
No, it's
people
not
dress.
even that. I could deal with that. I could deal with the hipsters.
But that's
It's just the
part of it, though.
quality of life, bro. You don't get the bang for your buck, bro. We paying crazy amount of money to live crammed in. It's like it doesn't make sense to me. Meanwhile, you probably paying 1,200 in rent, and you got a backyard, a
Not,
garage,
not
extra
anymore.
bathroom, and shit like that. Like, nah, man, I gotta get out of
All,
here.
all y'all moved down here. My rent went from like 1,500 to 2,500. I'll raise the price.
2,500 in Florida?
I'm paying 2,500. Well, it's gonna go up, right? Like I'm about to sign a new lease, and yeah, it's gonna be 2,500. Before it was a lot less last year. Craziness.
Yeah, man.
All y'all moved down here and raised it up, man. Like it done changed our lives.
Blame New York, man. Hey, listen, I know New Yorkers. My friend, she lives in Orlando, and she was on Facebook complaining mad hard about the New Yorkers that moved down there. They're so rude. They're this, they're that, and I'm like, yo, I ain't even get mad. I ain't even like, you want to comment defending your state. I was like, I ain't even gonna do that, man. I ain't even. I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about. I live it.
They got something different. I don't know why she complained. New Yorkers been down here. It's mostly Puerto Ricans over there. Like, yo, it's so many. I went to the Cotto fight when he fought your boy Delvin,
Why you
and
gotta bring
yo,
that up? Why you gotta bring that up, man?
yo, that was the first time I actually experienced it because I'm like 3 hours away from Orlando. But
Yeah.
that was the first, yo, like as soon as you get to the stadium, like the stadium is right off, right off. It's right next to a bridge. Like the way they have it set up is like to the right side of the interstate is straight downtown full of 5-star restaurants and clubs, and to the left side of the interstate is straight like stadiums and arenas and all that good stuff. And as
Oh,
soon as I crossed it, bro, it was like being in Puerto Rico. Like, I mean, you already know they wear the flag on every goddamn thing. You hear the fucking drums and you can smell the food, and you got the Puerto Rican guy on stilts everywhere. I never been to Puerto
was
Rico.
there a
Now
Puerto
I felt like
Rican
I
with an
went.
iguana on his neck? Was there a Puerto Rican with an iguana on his neck?
Come on, you already know, bro.
Of course there
Shit.
was, man. Yo, every Puerto Rican Day parade here in New York is one of them. Nah, but yo, what's funny? I know you know me through the boxing voice. The first time I ever interacted with Ness, I called in on his show, was leading up to that Delvin Rodriguez Miguel Cotto fight. So I'm the voice of Dominican boxing before I was the voice of Dominican boxing. I called in, yo, Delvin gonna win that fight. I say he was gonna win. Well, I said it was gonna be competitive. I was wrong. But point is that I was out there defending my Dominican. I was a big Delvin Rodriguez fan. So I called in. I'm saying my piece, and fucking Nesta Gibbs just out of nowhere started screaming, yo, that fight is garbage, man. That fight is garbage. I don't know why you brought that up on my show. Blah, 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 blah. So he started screaming at me. So I start screaming at him. And then he throws the horn on me. He's like, yo, bro, you're not going to be screaming at me on my show. And I was like, nah, man, well, don't talk to me like that. And I was like, yo, and he was like, what's Delvin's best win? So I started naming his wins. He's like, get the fuck out of here, man. Cotto gonna knock this dude out. Blah 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 blah. Yo, so me and him go at it. So I'm watching the fight, right? This is like this was like on a Wednesday or something. So now the fight is on Saturday. And I'm like, I'm rubbing my hands. I'm like, let's go. I was like, I can't wait. I'm gonna call into the boxing voice and I'm gonna show him. Boom, the dude got knocked out in 3 rounds. I was like, no. So that's a story. I don't know how often you call up in the boxing voice, but you can remind Ness of that story.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that is classic Ness right there, man. He'll come at you out of nowhere, bro. I mean, he do every now and then when I call in. That's the way he is, yeah, man.
No, I know. I can't wait to go back out there in Vegas because one, I made a lot of connections out in Vegas. Like aside of the boxing voice, like I was out there moving and grooving on my own. Like you know what I'm saying? Like what? I don't know if you watched my interview with him. He had mentioned that I was the one who introduced him to Hector Luis Garcia. It was me. Not that I'm bragging or nothing. But point is, I was moving and grooving out there, meeting people, exchanging numbers, and doing that. And then, but also when I was on the boxing voice, I gained mad subscribers, and also I had a good time. I had a good time over there. He had hit me up like 2-3 weeks ago. Like he wanted me to go back out there, but it's just hard for me to fly out there. But I'm gonna try to make it starting 2023. I'm gonna try to make it a habit of going out there once a month or something like that.
No, Ness was just talking about it yesterday. He said, "Yo, like the connections you make out here, like
it's insane, bro. It's insane
because just like that, like you said, you were there, and like everywhere you go, there's somebody you're gonna see a superstar in the music business, or of course, boxing's over there. It's just gonna be something."
Yo, put it like this. I met Bob Santos out there, right? Bob Santos at that point wasn't even the trainer of Hector Luis Garcia and Puello then. He was their strength and conditioning coach, but he was training them while Ismael Salos was in Japan working with Ioka, right? So me and Santos, we developed a rapport. I got his number. Yo, now this dude might win trainer of the year. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like, and that was just a connection I just made. I wasn't even thinking it was going to get that big. But now, look, he ended up getting all those Dominican fighters. And now he might win. To me, he's trainer of the year, to be honest with you. Because when you take into consideration what Puello did, what Garcia did, what Adames did, that those are some big wins. And Eric Mini Pac-Man Rose about to win a belt, which Oyaso hasn't done. Let's just be honest. He about to be knockout Freshmont, so he about to get a belt. While your man is still here, is he ranked? Is your man even ranked?
Come on, he just fought for a WBA regional against the dude that Rosa went split decision with. Know what I'm saying? We wiped him out.
You wiped him out, but you got dropped. All right, don't think
we dropped it. Hey, they dropped him too, man.
Okay, no, but I'm saying your man ain't wipe him out. He got dropped too. So it's not like it was an easy fight.
I scored at 12-0. I don't know what to tell you.
12-0, he got dropped.
I ain't like, bro. I swear to you, I really did score 12-0. I don't know if I was feeling the bias, but nah, man. It was good shit, dude.
Yo.
Let me introduce my man True from A-Side Boxing Talk. What's going on, my brother?
What's going on, my boy? Chilling, man. How you feeling today, man? How you feeling tonight?
Great, man. I'm glad you were able to join us. I before this, I was talking about I started off talking about Deontay Wilder. What did you make of his performance? We were both there in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. What was your opinion on Deontay Wilder's performance?
I really wish Deontay Wilder wouldn't have thrown no punches until the second round. I was liking the movement. It really wasn't nothing to really make of the performance. It was a short counter right hand. The only thing I didn't like in all of it, I just didn't like the fact that, prior to the fight and post the fight, him and Malik Scott was both talking about that the goal was to kind of fight off the back foot. I don't really like fighters giving their plans, because you have fights after that, and another fighter will say, you know what, well, I'll make Wilder fight on the front foot. Now, we know he don't got a problem doing that, but I like when you keep the element of surprise. And so now his next fight, whoever it is, Andrew Ruiz, they'll be looking for him to possibly be trying to set traps off the back foot. That's the only thing.
Yeah. But my thing is with that, I felt like he was trying to fight off the back foot, but and like you said, I wish I would have seen a little bit more rounds to like critique or to break down a little bit more. Yeah. But at times it looked like he was just skipping on his toes very far from his opponent, where it wasn't. It was. I'm not saying it wasn't effective, but it wasn't. You know, it's just like I'm not sure what was the game plan there. Then once he slowed it down, Helenia seemed to try to close the distance and ended up getting clipped and knocked out. We can't make too much of the. It's like we didn't learn anything new. I feel like we knew Deontay Wilder had a sick, nasty right hand that can knock anybody out with one shot. And it's kind of like what we saw there. I mean, I'm not gonna be mad at him for getting the guy out of there in one round, especially how late it was. I'm glad he got him out of there in one round, bro. I was tired at the end of the fight. I was like, I literally turned to my dad. I was like, bro, I hope he gets him out in the first round. They ain't dead. Man. But that's how I sort of performed. Vega, what did you make of Deontay Wilder's performance?
I'm not gonna lie. I thought something was wrong with him, the way he was moving around that ring on his feet. Like, honestly, I was like, yo, it is not gonna look good out here. But yo, like how he did that just out of nowhere. I mean, it's just a constant reminder that man's right hand is one of the most special things we've ever seen in boxing. He is really must-see TV, and it's been shown only one man can withstand that right hand. No one else is standing up to it. I really want to see him against Joe Joyce. I watching Joe Joyce fight, I don't really see too much. What I mean is I don't see an elite guy, but the way he can take punches and the way his motor, how he it seems like he's a bit of a snowballer. Like, yo, him and Deontay, I think it might be something special, honestly.
Hey, wait, real quick, Vega, you on to something. I was at the fight with my wife, man, and as soon as Deontay Wilder came out and he started moving, my wife is like, hey, what's wrong with him? Why he look like that? I'm like, what are you talking about? She like, it looked like he's like off, like his footwork. She's like, I think he just got bad footwork, but that's even my wife who's not a hardcore like we are. She's like, hey, well, his feet, like he not moving right. Like, what's up with him? What's up with why he moving like that? You know what I mean? So, and I left it off. I didn't want to say nothing because it's my wife, and I didn't see what she was seeing. But now that you said it too, and I'm sure you wasn't in the building, you might have been looking at it on TV. So it's just odd to hear you say that. And like I said, my wife was sitting right next to me, and we had a perfect view. I think we had fucking one of the best views in the house, man. Where we were sitting at. And it's just odd to hear somebody else say that too. And I wasn't gonna say nothing, but now you said something like, yeah, I want to go watch that fight again.
You hear Truth bragging about his good seats. Come on, man. Not all of us had to. I was a little higher than you. Again, I didn't necessarily see anything wrong with his footwork. But as far as like, I just felt like him bouncing on his toes and being real far from his opponent at times. I didn't really see the purpose of it. But again, who am I to say, because he ended up getting the knockout? But I was more confused. Like, I mean, he was moving fast around the ring. I'll give him that. I do like the fact that he looked a lot thinner. He looked a lot thinner, and I felt like that was to his detriment in the Fury fight.
But, bro, you know what I will say, bro? I think Malik Scott is a great boxing mind. I'll say that. And then on top of that, I'll say them guys are sparring partners. It might have been something that they knew about Helenius, or something that they knew, hey, you know what? If we move, the guy gonna follow us, right? If we lead, he's gonna backtrack. But if we move and we not engaging, he'll come forward. So that could have been the game plan the whole time. You know what I mean? We just gonna try this out and see what happens. So with that, sometimes you can't discount that history that those two guys. So it's funny. We laugh because Wilder and Fury got all these rounds in. But how many rounds you think Wilder and Helenius got in, bro? Probably hundreds of rounds. They didn't spar each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I kind of keep that in mind as well.
Did you see their embrace after the fight where Wilder hugging him and stuff like that, telling him he even apologized for knocking him out, which I found a little bit weird. But did you see that? What'd you make of that?
I think it was cool, man. I think Wilder, he like truly a passionate guy. Like, he one of them guys, like, he truly cared. And that's why it kind of pissed me off a little bit for people were saying that it was a dive. So if you feel it was a dive, So did he go to acting class? Because dude is a grown man and he's supposed to be, you know, these guys don't really show that kind of emotion. He's sitting with another guy rubbing on his shoulders, telling him it's okay, patting him on the chest, fucking crying, bawling. And like, I can't put those two together, but I think that was real dope that he went and did that.
Yeah, I don't even address that shit when people go, "Oh, you know that it was a robbery. It was a fucking a dive." Like, what? Like, come on, man. He made enough money. You think I don't know how much Helenius' purse is, but he's a heavyweight, so I'm sure he got a good chunk of change. Yeah. Well, he don't need an extra 100,000. Like, you know what I'm saying? He good. He made enough money in that night. He don't need and trust me, you were in the building. That shit was not no fucking flash knockdown. That was a shot that he took.
Yeah,
that everybody in the building knew it was over as soon as it landed. So I don't even address the dumbass motherfuckers that be saying stupid shit like that.
Sure.
But what would you make Caleb Plant's performance against Anthony Dirrell? This was a very, very heated press conference and back and forth, and Dirrell saying he genuinely doesn't like him as a man and he don't got no power. How's he gonna knock me out since he don't got no power? Then at the weigh-in, he says, I heard Plant got hurt by a 60-pounder. I ain't no 60-pounder. And by the way, that 60-pounder was Carlos Adames. we ain't gonna get too much into that. Right. But what'd you make of the fight? Plant versus Dirrell.
Man, you want to go, Vega?
Vega, you want to go first?
Oh yeah, sure. You know, I don't think anyone anticipated that ending. You know, we weren't really too sure what Dirrell is gonna have at this age, and I don't think he looked bad. I think Caleb is at this stage. Both careers is a better fighter, but I was surprised, man, that fight.
Yo, you're breaking up heavy.
Telling them not yet, not yet.
You're breaking up, bro. Breaking up heavy, man. Come on, man. You good?
Can you hear me?
You still breaking?
Can you hear me now?
Now I hear you. All right. Go.
Oh, I'm good now.
Yeah, you good. Truth, go, because I don't know what's up with my man.
I'll go. So obviously, you know, I was in there smiling, man, because before the fight, I predicted a Caleb Plant knockout. Actually, you was there, right? Before we even walked back, because you know we always in our group. Before we even walked back to the seats, I said, "Yo, y'all ready to see Caleb Plant catch this knockout?" You know what I mean? And then 9th round, bro, got him up out of there. I mean, I think this is sometimes the story is beyond the ring, bro. And I think Caleb Plant is one of those guys for those exact reasons that Dirrell was saying. He's one of them guys. He's not friendly. He thinks very highly of himself. He thinks in his mind that he is the number one guy. So taking an embarrassing loss from Canelo Alvarez, you got everybody on boxing Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram laughing and making memes out of you, asking Canelo, "Are you good?" Right? So I think his right. Am I really good? You like me? I got skills, right? So you a very prideful guy. You embarrassed, right? And you got knocked out for the first time in your career. Now people really questioning your resume. We're really talking about you now. And we know that Caleb Plant doesn't get over 15 pounds overweight. He's always in the gym. And then he brung Breadman in, right? So you got two guys that I remember when you first brung Breadman in, we was in a space and somebody said, Breadman guys don't knock people out either, right? That was another, all his guys is UD guys, right? His fighters don't knock people out. But when you got two guys that's locked in, Caleb Plant was the faster guy. We knew that. We knew he had the better footwork. I mean, naturally, even if Caleb Plant doesn't knock him out, he's going to win that fight because he's better than Anthony Dirrell in every single category. We see Dirrell, before this, he fought Marcos Hernandez, right? The close fight until he got the knockout. I think he surprised himself when he got that uppercut, that knockout uppercut. Before that, it's Kyron Davis, a 160-pounder blowing up to 68. Marcos Hernandez, 160-pounder blowing up to 68. Got stopped by Benavidez before that. So I think Dirrell was already on the downslope, and then going into the Caleb Plant fight with Caleb Plant in his mind, if Caleb Plant loses this fight to Anthony Dirrell, he's done. and not necessarily because of his age, but we've already been questioning your resume. You got knocked out by Canelo and asked him what you know what I mean, or what you was asking him, and then now you lost to Dirrell. It was too much on Caleb Plant's shoulders for him to not come out and perform like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was one of the people telling you that you bugging for picking Caleb Plant by knocker. And I'm man enough to admit that. Sure. I was not expecting that. And I was expecting the fight kind of to play out how the first 3-4 rounds did. I like how Plant was going up and down with it. He was boxing, using a lot of head movement, making Dirrell miss a lot. He was boxing beautifully in the early rounds. And then out of nowhere, the fight just kind of slowed down in pace, and Dirrell just seemed not willing to engage.
Yep.
And Plant is typically not a front foot fighter anyways. Yep. So he wasn't trying to engage too much either. And then once the pace started to pick up again, boom, it ended in a one-punch KO. And at the time, I was screaming, knockout of the year in my seat. Knockout of the year, knockout of the year. And, you know, I'm not sure if the fight preceding didn't take the cake. But point is, it's definitely one of the knockouts that will be in the running. It'll be in discussion. Whether it wins it or not is a different story. Vega, you out of the mountains?
Yeah, I believe so. You hear me? You hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you good. You want to break down the fight for me?
No. I was trying to say earlier that, yeah, basically at this moment before in both their careers, I think it was obvious that Plant was the better fighter. You know, the addition of Breadman, I wasn't sure how they were going to mold together. When I was watching the fight, I heard Breadman keep yelling, you know, not yet, not yet. He ain't ready to go. And so I thought it was, thought it was interesting that they knew that they were going to knock him out. They knew how they were going to do it, when they were going to do it. And they waited until Dirrell got softened up and hit him with that combination. You know, I actually saw on Twitter that he used that combination against, what's that steroid cheater dude, Uskatagi, to knock him down. Same one, left hook to the body and up top. That thing was a thing of beauty. And, I mean, like I said, the way he sat on it, he knew what he was doing, what he was trying to do. And, yeah, I mean, I think it raises the, you know, when I saw that knockout, I said, there's no way Wilder's going to outdo this. So what would you think? Which knockout would you rate higher, the Wilder or the Plant? I got to go Plant, to be honest.
You know, I went back and forth on this on a Twitter space, and I also sat down, slept on it a few times. I'm going to have to go Plant. Simple fact that he faced a better opponent in Dirrell. Whether you want to say it's by a long margin or not, whatever, it's irrelevant. I do think Dirrell is better than Helenius. Dirrell was champion. Helenius was never champion. You know, and again, when you add the addition of the surprise factor and the fact that Caleb's not known as a puncher and the trash talking that went into that, and that he went and he did, you know, threw dirt on him. like when you add all that into context, I gotta go Plant, but I'm not gonna get mad at somebody if somebody tells me they like the Wilder knockout.
Yeah,
that's I'm good with either pick. But go ahead, Truth.
Now I think the Plant one. First of all, I think it was a better knockout. Honestly, really? It was way more. It was flush. It was clean, and as soon, I was nervous when both of those guys hit the ground. But as soon as you seen Dirrell hit the ground, it was over. The building erupted, bro. And again, just like you saying, like all the animosity in the beginning, all the talk, all the chat, even as aggressive as Dirrell was being early in that fight. Like you see, remember he was like grabbing them, it was just. I think Caleb Plant slammed him back one time. Like these dudes is like wrestling. And then for it to end off like that, that was fire. It just. Yeah, that was fire.
And Caleb Plant's stock just blew up that night because, like you said, before that, had he lost that fight, that would have been a very negative strike on his record. Or even if he would have won a decision, the cutter would have been like, yeah, but you're supposed to do that. Yeah. He wasn't supposed to knock out Dirrell.
Yeah, not like that.
So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like his stock really went up, and now he's back to being a legit player in 168. Sure. That fight actually was also a WBC eliminator, so that could lead us into a fight with him and David Benavidez as the WBC interim champ in the near future.
That's what I want to see. But I will say, bro, hey man, one thing that really made me nervous. I mean, not made me. I knew this though, and I said this. I kept saying this. Dirrell was old, man. Dude was 37, and when you start talking about fights like that, we were, me too. We were booing because Caleb Plant was being so negative, bro. But being negative allows you to breathe, catch your breath. It allows you to relax, right? And it allows you in a way to kind of dictate the pace, right? So his stock has went up, but I don't know if I'm buying all of that stock because fighting a guy like Benavidez, you don't get breathing time, right? Now Benavidez is not a one-punch knockout. I think besides Lemieux, he stops everybody on their feet just from like accumulation. Ronald Ellis, maybe he was putting the works on Ellis, stopped him on his feet. Angulo stopped him on his feet, putting the works on these guys, right? Even Dirrell, he still stopped Dirrell on his feet. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily think that Benavidez is a strong guy. And by the way, Sampson has been keeping him away from punchers, whether that's on purpose or not. That's what's been happening. But I don't think that he's going to allow Caleb Plant to be so negative as to where the fans are booing from lack of like engaging. Like we booed multiple times, bro. Like remember, like that wasn't just like one round.
Bro. I was definitely booing. I
was me too. Like we was booing. We I think at least I could count at least like 3 or 4 times where everybody's just like, yo, boo, like, you know what I mean? But Benavidez is not gonna let you do that. Like that's not Benavidez is not gonna.
The thing is about Benavidez is I sometimes like I feel like he tries to make it an inside fight as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And when he's inside, he'll square up.
Oh, yeah.
He's there to be hit. And what's Plant is very loose at the hips.
Yep.
Can move up and down. And Benavidez, although very active, throws a lot of punches and is a good pressure fighter. He's very straight up. And now we see, hey, you can't just walk through a Caleb Plant punch now. You know what I'm saying? You can say, oh, that was Dirrell, but hey, listen, one punch knockouts, you get full credit for that. Now, if he would have knocked him out in accumulation or the corner would have stopped it or it was a cut, I would have looked at the stoppage differently. You putting somebody to sleep with a point when they get – did you see when he stood up? He was still wobbling. This man was hurt. That he probably had to go to the hospital after the fight. Yeah. So I would love to see it, but I do agree with you. I have seen Caleb Plant kind of tire out in fights. Yeah. And Benavidez is a pressure fighter, somebody who's go. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that if the fight happens.
And with a very good gas tank at that too.
True. Vega, you have
there's nothing more definite. Yeah, there's nothing more definite than a one-punch KO. Like you said, you can't take nothing away from it. Yeah, when it comes to Benavidez versus Plant, I think, man, right now there's not a better time. I mean, I guess we could always say that, but with him coming off that KO win, and it kind of stinks because the announcement of Benavidez versus Uzcategui, it obviously was planned to be after the Plant fight, but with that performance, now it's like I feel it. I am looking down on this Benavidez matchup. But I mean, look, they just fought Plant just fought the best opponent of Benavidez's career, and that's what Benavidez is doing to Plant. I heard someone say that earlier, actually, and I didn't see that until I heard it. So that was actually a really good point someone brought up. But I think it'll be a tale of two fights. I think we can expect Plant to do everything we've seen him to do in the first half. And Benavidez, I mentioned before, he's a snowballer. Once he gets going, it's hard to stop him. So, yeah, it'll be a very interesting matchup. I hope they make that as soon as possible.
I think we're being sold up the river, bro. Sorry. I think we're being sold up the river. It's October, right? November, December, January, right? That fight is in January. So now these dudes are 3 months apart as far as being on schedule. So is Caleb Plant going to have a long layoff and Benavidez a short one? Like how do we get that fight like that? So even if he fights in January, we know fighters, especially of that caliber and that pay on PBC, on that network, we don't see them within a 6-month period. Like, it's not like they're going to fight like 5 months. Like, if he fights in January, then they'll fight in May. It's not going to happen. It's either going to be in the back half of the year or one of those guys is going to have to take a long layoff or Benavidez is going to have to take a short layoff. So that was my problem with it. Like, I don't care about the Uzcategui fight. I don't think he should fight him because he popped dirty. So I don't like that. But at the end of the day, as far as making the Caleb Plant and Benavidez fight, what does Benavidez fighting in January do for the timing? What if Benavidez catch it in? Like, it's just so much going on that I don't like that date. Like, it's maybe if it was in December, November, cool. I just don't like, it's too far apart from me.
Yeah, I was very curious as to the choice of opponents. I mean, to be fair to Samson, that division is pretty trash. The 168 division is like the options of who he could afford are low. David Morrell, from what I understand, his team doesn't want to put him in that tough yet. Who else is there at 168 that he could afford? I doubt Ryder or what's the other British dude name?
Ryder's supposed to be fighting
Parker.
Zach Parker.
Yeah, I don't think those two guys would afford him, considering they're gonna fight for a WBC interim belt. I don't know. It's just that I just don't like this fight, especially when Andre doesn't have a fight right now. You could have made that fight.
I mean, but bro, when your promoter after the Lemieux fight, he get on stage and say only 3 names, right? Forget about Canelo, right? He says, forget about Canelo. It's Plant, it's Charlo, or Andre. Then I didn't invite him to come in our space. He came in our space and said they're looking at Andre. We give him, what he say? I think because this is right after the Frank Warren had won the purse bid for the Parker fight. And then he said, I'll give him 7 times that much, right? I didn't make that up. That's what he came in our space and said. And then you dropped this on us.
You weren't on here, but I'm actually going to interview Samson on Sunday. So I will be asking him all those questions and what's going on, because at the end of the day, we us fans were very disappointed with the level of opponents David Benavidez has fought. Like, and you may disagree with me, Truth, but when people criticize Canelo and then he says, yo, who's Benavidez for? 1 champion? Come on, guys. I take that serious. I'm like, yo, he's right. Like, just, yo, who the fuck is this guy beating? Like, yeah, all right, don't get me wrong. We see the skills. He got some skills. He has good, but he shouldn't be fighting these, like, guys who are either over the hill or very inactive, coming off a bunch of losses. Like, he shouldn't be fighting these type of level of opponents if he's this Mexican monster as Mike Tyson and all these other guys are trying to market him as. He's a good fighter, but we want to see him in tough.
Thanks.
And you brought up Charlo. What's up with Charlo, man?
And so that's why even when you kind of look at it, and from my opinion, I don't think we're going to get Charlo again this year. I could be wrong, right? We just saw something where PBC or not PBC, where Tom Brown, TGB, reserved Atlanta for December 17th. So yeah. I don't know who's going to be fighting on that card. We don't know yet. But if it's not a Charlo, I just think, like, why not make that fight? Why not make? I mean, because is he going to stay and fight Adames? Like, is he going to stay around and do a round robin until we figure out what's going on with Golovkin and those belts over there? Because now Golovkin just got approved for an IBF fight. So now the winner of that got to fight Erislandy Lara. So those other 2 titles are out of the question. Period. He won't see him, right? So either you're going to fight Adames or you can move up and fight Caleb Plant. Which one sound more? Adames is high risk, low reward. Very high, very, very high risk, low reward.
Right now, he's smoking hot. The thing is that people know that. People know he's high risk, but like you said, he's low reward. He isn't necessarily a pay-per-view star or even a star at the box office, if we're being honest. Listen, I'm Dominican. Yeah, I know I'm biased, but I got to keep it real. He doesn't really sell tickets yet. But point is, if I'd rather you fight Adames than Selecki. And I said that before Adames had fought Montiel and came off that beautiful performance where he knocked this guy out in 3 rounds. Mm-hmm. Before I said that, I said, all right, if you're going to fight an opponent that's not Munguia, because had you fought Munguia, I wouldn't even be mad at you not fighting Adames. I get it. I get the business of it. But why fight Selecki, a guy who's had opportunities already? Why not fight Adames? And just look. Maybe they know something we don't know after that last performance.
He better move up or do something before Adames go on tour. And I'm saying go on tour because who are both of their last 2 opponents? The same 2 guys, bro. The same 2 guys are their last 2 opponents. Montiel, Tenko. So now if he start going and say, well, he went 12 with Montiel, I knocked him out in, what was that, 3? 2, 3?
3 rounds.
I knocked him out in 3. Yeah, he beat Deryevchenko up. So did I, right? I'm the number one. Your last 2 guys I fought, that means you know better. I mean, and granted, I would still give a slight edge to Charlo in that fight. But if Adames start making noise and calling bluffs, and then we see Charlo go another way, it's not going to look good. You understand what I'm saying? I know the boxers don't care about optics, but that don't look good for a guy that fought the same last 2 as you. Now he's your number 1 mandatory. You can't get a good fight. Why not fight him?
No, listen, I agree. I think eventually, I don't think Charlo's going to take that fight. I think Charlo ends up moving up and fighting a lower level guy to adjust to the weight at 168. And Adames, maybe he fights Selecki. I don't know. I picture Adames after that last performance having trouble finding opponents. I picture people going, hold on, some dumbass in the chat. Let me kick this dude out. You know, I'm gonna leave your bitch ass here. You know, don't come over here on some racist shit. Don't come over here on some racist shit, because I'll boot you. I don't know if you was being funny. I'm gonna leave you, but you do another comment like that or anything stupid, freak. You know, that's it. You only get 1 warning with me. But go ahead. My bad. Vega, you got anything to add on that? Adames, Montiel, or Adames and Charlo and any of that?
I think the biggest thing with Charlo right now is what's next. He's supposed to have that matchup in June. They said, I believe it was a back injury. It's what do we do? I think something you mentioned that really stuck out to me. Yeah, I think right now there's no better opportunity for him to move up, get an adjustment fight. Him being out, and then give him the opportunity to make 168, see how his body feels before he takes on, his next real opponent. So I think that's probably what's next in the cards. But, I mean, time's ticking. I mean, he's 31, 32 years old. You don't want to be inactive at this age. Sometimes you can age overnight. Things change. We've all been getting older. We know how it is. You feel great, and then the next morning, even though you're doing the same thing, you've been on a routine, eating your breakfast, working at the same time, and then it just changes all in one day. So yeah, I mean, we got to see him back. I think he's a great fighter, but he is lacking in resume. If you don't fight Adames, then I mean, where do you go from here?
Yeah, I don't know. My bad, fellas. His middleweight run has just been absolutely trash, to be honest with you. And then you look at what his brother's doing. His brother's is undisputed. Like,
yeah,
they are Thanksgiving vacation with the family eating. Things get brought up, especially Jamel. Jamel talker.
Yeah,
like, yo, man, I got 4 belts. What's up with you? Who you fighting? When you fighting? He needs to step it up, man. Listen. I think he's a talented fighter. He has a beautiful power jab. He had that fantastic knockout of J-Rock at 154. He did good against Trout. Listen, I know the guy's a good fighter. I'm not going to sit here and trash the guy when I know he's a good fighter. But if we're being honest, since he moved up to 160, his opponents has been subpar at best. And he never fought Jacobs, never fought Adames, never fought Munguia, and never fought Triple G or none of those guys. Andre, none of those guys. Well, some of those situations may not be his fault. The point is the fight haven't happened. And now you got in a guy in Adames who's your mandatory, and you haven't fought nobody. And this is somebody amongst the hardcores you will at least get credit for beating.
Yeah, and I was about to say that too, bro, because at the same time, man, remember the Jaime Munguia fight was on the table. And they got snapped off last minute. They offered, Steven Espinoza even came and told us and showed us they offered Andre a fight already. They offered Canelo $50 million to fight him. You know what I'm saying? So I think that his inactivity isn't from a lack of trying, but at the end of the day, it's just like still, man. His not inactivity. Inactivity is his fault or whoever's fault. But his lack of big fights is not necessarily his fault. In a bad division, you've already made all of the top guys in your division offers already. You know what I mean? So, it's you can't do too much.
It's unfortunate because people like to say the middleweight division is the glamour division. And you know what's funny? The previous era, of middleweights. I really like that era where it had it had Canelo, it had Triple G, it had Daniel Jacobs, it had who else was over there on that side. Point is that little round robin of fighters. I like that little middleweight division, middleweight era. Then the previous era was Sergio Martinez and Kelly Pavlik, and who else was on
Paul Williams.
Paul Williams, man, that was a nice era of middleweights. I really like that era. And then we get to this era, it's like fucking bullshit. Juan De Lo Mio, what's up, my brother?
Yo, I'm recouping, man. Recouping from that day, man. We was turned up.
We definitely was turned up. We had a lot of fun. This is my man Juan. He had hit me up. He's like, yo, I'm one of your loyal subscribers, man. I want to sit where you sitting. So I told him what section, and we sat right next to each other. We were the loudest Dominicans there, cheering for Michelle Rivera, man.
Turning up, man. Turning up.
How'd your family enjoy the fight? Being at the fight?
They loved the experience, man. We all did it because it was our first boxing match. And that's credit to you, Joel. That's what you're doing. You're bringing people that were, fans of boxing, that are, somewhat, we're Dominican. And now you, because of your interest, because of your platform, I could have always bought a ticket. I never bought a ticket to a fight. Think about all the great fights that came to this tri-state. So that's kudos to you and credit to you to what you're doing.
You see what I'm saying? Broadway Joel
I bought
already.
5 tickets.
My man bought 5 tickets to support Michelle Rivera.
Yeah.
5.
Because it's true.
And I went
They
there
say
with
we
my
don't buy
brother.
tickets.
I went there with my brother, my father, and myself. That's 3. That's 8 tickets Michelle Rivera sold. Say whatever y'all want.
Yeah.
It's only 8 tickets. Y'all want to make fun of that? Cool. That's how it starts. No, I'm being serious. That's how it starts. And now, was that your cousin or your brother that came with you?
That was my family. That was my brother, my brother-in-law, my daughter. So
now your brother and your brother-in-law may bring a friend or two next time. They may bring their wife. They may bring a friend. And that's how we're going to build this community. And then, again, what's up?
No, we came up with a great idea because of that. We're going to start doing groups, Facebook, Reddit.
We're going to start a Facebook group, Reddit group, and then little by little, we're gonna buy a whole fucking section out, and we're gonna show Dominicans who buy tickets, and they just need to be aware of when and where it's happening. And
give us a good fight. Give us a great opponent too.
Hey, Broadway, next time make sure you tell Michelle Rivera that you got people coming, because I don't think he got the message, man. I ain't like that performance against Jerry Perez. You know what I mean?
That's why he only sold 8 tickets.
You know what's crazy? I seen it on TV, and I wasn't that. It was all right. It wasn't spectacular.
But Michelle, but the thing is, we've seen spectacular stuff from Michelle. So I hear you with the but he's not an fight. I don't think he's an guy, right? So that's not, and everybody's gonna have good or bad performances. It happens. It's boxing. But I think they were looking for a better opponent for him, and they say, you know what? We're gonna get him in here with a guy that he probably could get out. You know what I mean? I was expecting some highlights. I thought, you know what I mean? But hey, shit happens. Styles make fights, whatever. I could say, hey, Frank Martin knocked this guy out, but that is what it is, man. But I would definitely. And again, if you look at, I think there was the PBC matchmaker, Ron Katz. He posted a picture with Michelle, man, like the way they're the weigh-in. I don't think Michelle was looking too hot, man. And remember the fight before that, which was probably Adorno's fault, but he fought Adorno at like 138, 139.
Yeah. It was Adorno that couldn't make weight.
That was Adorno.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't him, but he fought Adorno at like 139, and then the next fight at 135, you borderline looking like Haney, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? He made it for sure, but that could have been.
He's tall, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but what I will say to that is Michelle. I feel like he just couldn't get up for this opponent. There's only a certain amount of times you could keep fighting the same level of opponent, and if anything, I think Jerry Perez is a step back from what he's been fighting. He's definitely a step back from Adorno, fighting an 8-round fight deep in an undercard. Like, I think honestly, he just kind of ain't get up for it. Yeah. But I'm not gonna be too.
Yeah, but Jerry fought harder than Adorno, though.
That's for sure. I felt like Jerry definitely came to fight. He came for just a paycheck. But what I'm saying is, I think he just had trouble getting up for the fight. I don't think it was necessarily him getting tired or anything like that. I just think he had trouble getting up and being motivated. Like, yeah, I'm about to fight this fucking guy. You know, this for a world title. After this is an eliminator. I'm gonna be a mandatory. It's like he knows that he's gonna beat this guy, and no matter what, people still not gonna give him credit if he knocked him out in the first round. You know what I'm saying? It's not like people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, he knocked him out in the first round. What a performance!" It's gonna be like, "Yeah, but who was Jerry Perez?" So I think that's kind of why he gave the performance he did.
Yo, and it crazy the standard that we holding Michelle up to, where he wipes every round with him, and we still like, it could have been better. It wasn't like he mashed them. It's true.
But I wanted to see a stoppage because
true.
Frank Martin stopped him. I'll be honest.
Yeah. That might be the next fight.
I like it.
And what you're saying is valid, Broadway, because I mean, I went to the Tank fight, and remember he did a face off with he did a couple face offs. I know he did one with Ryo, and then even after he's like, "Yo, I'm next for Tank. I'm next in line for Tank." You know what I mean? Like I'm about to get that fight. And so you facing off with other top prospects at the time in your division, and now you saying, "Hey, I'm the number one. I'm coming for Tank," and then you get Jerry Perez. Like, you know what I mean?
I thought there was a high standard
you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I feel you.
I'm fighting this dude. Like, all right, I guess I'm gonna beat the shit out this dude. And he probably was just like, "Oh shit, he a little tougher than I thought." All right, and didn't get the stoppage. I think that's what happened.
Listen, there's a guy that has a platform, got like 30,000 subscribers, and he was told by some people that know boxing that, hey, this could be one of the best lightweights, but we're getting problems getting people to fight him. And I could believe that as well. I could believe Rolly doesn't want that fight. I could believe Isaac Cruz doesn't want that fight. So who do we blame, really? A lot of these guys want to keep their records padded until they get that big fight, which is one of the problems we have with boxing overall.
But my thing is, yo, bro, if you sign with PBC, one of the biggest entity in boxing, bro, they should be able to put you in position.
They should, exactly.
You get what I'm saying? Yo, you're not signed to fucking. Yeah, you're not signed to Lou DiBella. You're not signed to Star Boxing. You signed to PBC. PBC.
They have different.
Put me in position, Poppy. I've been fighting for you. That was his 10th fight on PBC. 10th.
Dang.
Bro, how you not getting the title shot or against a fighter like a Cruz or a Rolly where you gonna make some good money? I don't understand what's going on over there, and that's the reason why I hit up Sansom like, yo, I need you on my channel.
But isn't Michelle advised by Al Heyman?
Yeah.
I know Samson is promoter, and he's advised by Al Heyman, so he should have no problem getting no fights.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't understand what's going on over there. Now you want to tell me, oh, De Los Santos is having problems? All right, cool. De Los Santos just got in the fucking mix right now.
Yo, De Los Santos is actually hotter right now. If you want to,
right. No, but if you want to tell me he's having trouble getting fights, I would get it, because he's not like he hasn't put in enough legwork like Michelle Rivera. Sure. Michelle Rivera won an eliminator. He was ranked number 1 in the WBA.
He not no more?
Against who?
Ryan is now.
Ryan is ranked number 1, and number 2 is Jezreel Corrales, who I don't know what the fuck Jezreel Corrales is doing to get ahead of him.
Right there. That guy never fought at 135. I don't know how the heck that happened. He's from Panama, though.
He's from Panama. That's what it is, man.
The WBA's from over there, so that's some of the shit that happens in boxing that a lot of boxing fans just, I mean, it's a sport we love, I guess.
Ideally, I'll start off with you, Vega. Ideally, who would you want to see Rivera fight next?
A name that I keep hearing, even though earlier you said he ain't shit, Isaac Cruz. I think Isaac Cruz's style is so interesting because he forces you to fight. You have to use your feet and move your hands if you're going to beat Isaac Cruz. I think that's what it is. It's going to be. He's gonna put hands on you. We've seen him knock dudes out. He's gonna bring you to fight. It's gonna make for appealing TV, and you can hear it in the crowd. People love Isaac. So I think that is probably, you could put Isaac with anybody. I want to see him against Haney. I would be cool with the Tank rematch. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna give you an inside to an interview that I heard Michelle Rivera's coach. What's his trainer's name?
Herman Caicedo.
Caicedo said in an interview when the fight was offered to Cruz management, they were talking. They was like, I don't know, it might turn out in like the Tellez Jerome fight that Rivera fought. I don't know if you remember that fight. Where Rivera usually just uses distance, pop him from the outside, and then when he come in, he'll pop him back out again. But Isaac Cruz, a whole totally different fighter. He fights hard.
That's the fight you would want to see him fight next?
Who, me? Yeah, I think so. I would like to see him fight Rolly, to be honest.
Rolly.
Hey,
who would you want to see fight? You about to say Rolly?
You know why? Because number one, Rolly's gonna talk. Rolly gonna talk his trash. He gonna talk his talk.
He's gonna put him on that platform.
But this the thing, right? Perfect. Because if he doing that, now Michelle Rivera get to show us that he's diverse, right? Everybody don't know that he can speak English. You know what I'm saying? So now you got a fighter that's talking wild shit about you. Now you could, you know what I mean, go back and forth with him a little bit, doing a build up. It's gonna be an exciting fight. Rolly's gonna sell the fight. And let's be honest, Rolly's not gonna beat him. Rolly doesn't. I don't think Rolly beats him unless he.
I was to catch him with something.
But Michelle is too disciplined for a guy like Rolly. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Rolly could beat him, but I think that Rolly's gonna sell that fight. That's a co-main. That's a co-main to whoever's pay-per-view or whoever's big headline on the card. And because I'm thinking about building the fighter, because now Rolly's hot because he just come off the Tank fight. So now it puts you back in position for a Tank fight, possibly.
Damn.
Now your person. Now Michelle Rivera, the fighter, the person, the man, is more known by the fans because now we get to hear him speak a little bit more.
Damn,
right? We talk about building a fighter, put him in a good fight because his English ain't all that good. But a fight with him and Cruz, bro, the lead up is trash. Cruz can't speak no English, and then you mean it's just like but the lead up is like you know what I mean.
I see what you're saying.
You fake Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, it's gonna be all of that. You know what I mean? It's gonna be all
crazy talk. That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. I was gonna say Cruz up until you said that. I think I would like to see him fight Rolly.
Yeah. You know what I like about Bob Arum? I'm sorry to interrupt. You know what I like Bob Arum? He makes all his top guys fight one another. Like PBC, they gotta make all these fights so these guys could piggyback off each other's fame. Look at the
PBC got a lot of fighters though, man. That's the thing. PBC
make them fight each other so they could look at Tank. Tank is making people famous, whipping them.
But who you want on the PBC side? I mean, I guess you said Michelle should be his next fight because he's in negotiation with Ryan right now.
Just make them fight the other guys that got a little name, man. Just make them all fight each other. Make them all fight. That's good for boxing. It's good for their careers.
By the way, Box Talk 101, Freddie, he's best friends with Rolly. He told me Rolly's moving up to 140. So
yeah, he don't want that work. The Adamas thing, just like Charlo. He might. I don't think. But I'll take a dangerous fight with a guy that could beat you, man.
No, I mean, if Rolly moving up to 140, it ain't like there's no soft touches there. Like I don't know
exactly.
If he's moving away from Michelle and De Los Santos and Cruz, it's not like at 140 there's no light motherfuckers there. He don't get a shit. 140 is the division you can't fuck around in. Anybody can fuck you up. Yeah. Anybody, dudes you never heard of. Some of y'all never heard of Jeremias Ponce, and y'all think that's some bum. That dude will fuck some dude up on the wrong night.
Subriel.
Dude, right?
I've been trying to tell him. I think that Ponce beat Subriel, bro. I'm sorry.
I don't even know who that is. I gotta look him up.
I like Vega looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. Have you seen
Vega Puerto Rican too? So he.
Oh, yo.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a Matias fan.
No.
Because the thing with Matias is just trying to figure out how to get on the inside. Ponce reminds me, literally, he reminds me of Stanionis. Stanionis loves to fight on the inside, but he's jabbing his way in every time. He's not just walking it. Stanionis is going to jab your fucking head off.
Yeah, that's true.
Stanionis is going to jab your head off and then get inside. Ponce got like that close to mid range. But bro, he's always jabbing. He's always working the body. Like he's always gonna establish a jab, work the body. Establish a jab, work the body. Yeah, Subriel, when he could get in there on you, he's gonna work. But you got to get there first. You know what I mean?
He's gonna give you exciting fights, though. He's gonna give you exciting.
No. But the thing is, Ponce is just the same way, bro. He's like that fight. That's the reason why I bought that ticket to the Wilder fight, not for Plant, not for Wilder, for Ponce and Subriel. That's really why I bought that fight, that ticket.
Oh wow, that was on that card.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. Yeah,
but then Ponce had a visa trouble. But bro, those who know boxing know that fight. Listen, the top 20 in 140 is no fucking joke.
Right.
Barboza, Buello, Gary Antoine Russell, Subriel Matias, Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez, Regis Prograis, Jose Cepeda, Elvis Rodriguez. Listen, the whole Hermias Ponce.
Teofimo Lopez is there now.
Teofimo Lopez. they saying that Rolly is moving up to 140.
Yeah.
So it's like the 140 division, the top 20 is just stacked. So anybody who's moving up and thinks they getting the soft touch, they bugging. Unless you like Tio and fighting Pedraza or some shit.
Whoa.
Go ahead, Vega. Talk your shit, Vega. Go ahead, bro.
Come on, man. Don't talk about Pedraza, the two-weight champion, man. He's been competitive at 140. You know what I'm saying? Cepeda, Ramirez. It wasn't like them dudes washed him. Those are competitive fights. That's not like Pedraza's trash.
That's a bad fight for him, though, Vega. I say optics-wise, not for Pedraza, but for Tio, optics-wise.
Yeah. People high on Tio.
But the thing is, right? My issue is with the Pedraza fight is that you fighting a guy who came off a loss to Jose Ramirez, and then he just had a draw with a guy you knocked out 2 fights ago. You know what I'm saying? You get remember Vega, as soon as they were pulling off his gloves in the Compa fight, he's looking at Brad Goodman. He's like, "Don't match me with Barboza. I'm moving up. I got bigger things. I'm moving on to bigger and better things." Right? Don't match with. So you talking about don't match you with the number 2-3 guy in the WBO, but you and then on top of that, I don't want to say duck. He chose Pedraza over Sandor Martin too. So what are we doing? Like, what do you? I like Pedraza, but for Tio, I didn't like that fight.
But my Vega, my point with Pedraza is, in comparison to all the other names I mentioned at 140, Pedraza's a soft touch. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
You get what I'm saying? But that just goes to show how deep the division is. The fact that Pedraza is a soft touch. That's some guy out the top 20. You're like, damn, Pedraza's out the top 20? Yeah. So that division is deep. Go ahead, Juan.
You know what hurts a little bit, though, when you got guys like Rolly, Theo, guys that are not big ticket sellers, but they're very careful in their opponents that select and don't want to give the chance to guys like Elvis, guys like Matias, even Rolly. Like, for you to fight Rolly now, you got to be a star. Think about it. That's how he carrying himself now.
I mean, they say he gonna fight Adrian Broner next. I mean,
hey, Vega, look, let me tell you, I'm a little salty with Pedraza because I'm from Jersey, and he made my man Julian Rodriguez quit on the stool, bro. I ain't like that.
What part of Jersey you from?
Huh?
What part of Jersey you from?
North.
Oh, you from North? I'm next door to you.
Okay, word.
Yeah.
He made
me from Jersey too.
Made my Jersey boy quit on the stool, man.
I was born in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Yeah. Word. Oh, yeah. That's right there.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at now.
Oh, you in Eastwick?
I'm East Jersey, right around there.
Oh, you live by Elmore and all of that over there.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm originally from Jersey City.
Huh?
Oh, I'm originally from Jersey City, but I had to get up out of there.
Yeah, East Jersey Street. That's right over by Elmore.
Nah, but I like the next quarter of boxing is gonna be exciting though, because we got some matchups.
Yeah, yo, I was just on a space with Truth know who I'm talking about. I'm not gonna mention his name on somebody from PBC, and hey man, the first quarter of 2023 is gonna be a stack. Like the same way how this year was stacked in terms of the first quarter of fights. This quarter coming up, we're potentially going to get Ryan versus Tank, potentially going to get Spence versus Crawford, Charlo versus Zoo. We already get, for whatever you want to make the Benavidez Uzcategui fight, whatever. On the ESPN side, Catterall versus Taylor. Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of fights that first quarter into 2023, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And you got to give it up to Charlo, man. Charlo's taking opponents. His opponents have been the best of the best at 154, man. And Suka bang too. I mean, I see him winning this, but you got to give it up to that boy, man.
Ezra from the Ezra podcast says only 4 dudes who know Sandor Martin, and they probably all on this podcast.
Hey, says the Janet Beck lover,
right? The only 4 people that know Janet, well, 5 people including you, Ezra, is you and us 4 too, man.
The Janet Beck
That's
lover.
the guy that beat Mickey, right? Mikey was it, whatever.
Yeah, Sandor Martin. Yeah, he beat Mikey.
Yeah, that's a sucker way to go out. He was better off going out to like fighting a top name or something.
Yo, and you know it's crazy, yo. Mikey Garcia, when he was coming up, he was my favorite fighter, bro. I used to argue with everybody. And by the way, I wish he would have got Crawford at 135. I think he would have beat him. I think Mikey would have beat Crawford at 135. If little ass Gamboa could hurt you, what you think Mikey can do?
Chill, Joe.
I don't remember how good Mikey was. Y'all don't remember.
There was more talk of Mikey versus Lomachenko, though. That was the fight everybody wanted to see, and I truly wanted to see how that would have gone.
Yeah,
I know how that would have gone. My man Mikey would have stopped him.
Lomachenko? I think Lomachenko's one of the best pound for pound, man. You don't
Lomachenko 130 is pound, bro. Lomachenko 130. You don't have a size advantage. Good luck.
What was that, Truth?
He said pound for pound. What?
I think Lomachenko scrapes Haney.
We'll never know. We'll never know.
You saw what ESPN did to him? The clinches?
Yo, I still haven't seen the fight, but I saw the screen grab of that. That's wild. I've never seen that.
But you know what's crazy? The thing, this is what I say, man. When people talk about clinching, when people talk, like for example, right? They all of the clinching they talking about. Watch an Errol Spence fight. Watch what happens when fighters try to clinch Errol Spence. He doesn't allow it, right?
You gotta push him,
right? Yeah. And then, so my thing is, if you can't get out of a clinch, if you can't cut the ring off, if you can't move and do the things in boxing that you're supposed to be doing, go to the gym and learn the fucking sport. Don't say this guy's running. Don't talk to me about that. Don't talk to me about a jab fest, right? Because you got to be getting jabbed and not get past the jab for 12 rounds for the fight to be that boring. Go to the gym, switch your trainer, learn the fucking basics. Get off the pretty pads, stop padding everything, hit a bag, and learn how to fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Come on.
He won't stop moving. Cut him off. Exactly what you said. Do something about it.
Yeah, these people give in to the clinch. They don't push. Who was it? I think it was Lomachenko that was fighting somebody that kept trying to hold him, and he was like,
bro. But Errol Spence does not let you clinch, bro. Yeah. Like Errol Spence will not let you clinch him, bro.
And if you notice, it makes the referee warn the other fighter. Yeah. It makes the referee impose himself on the fighter. Like, listen, I'm gonna take points off. Yeah. But when you got guys just letting them clinch,
well, how bad was the clinching though? Was it? Did it was?
No, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't the first half. It was a bit excessive. That second half, Haney let things go.
Yeah. And
let's be real, Haney,
because I thought, go ahead, bro.
I love Haney, man. He's talented, man, but he's not gonna be able to sell a lot. When it comes to negotiations and getting those fights, a lot of people are not gonna want to fight him. One, he doesn't sell tickets. One, he's just gonna so it's like he doesn't commit.
To be honest, I'm not a Haney fan. I don't find him entertaining. I ain't see this last fight. So
he beat him up. He beat him up. He beat him up.
I gotta watch it. I don't find him entertaining.
But he beat the shit out of Cambosis.
He beat him up, but he beat him up worse.
Cambosis, bro.
Well, you beating the shit out of somebody, that's entertaining to me. But that first fight, man, I could have done without watching that.
And what I liked was Haney had got a little cut over his eye. once his eye got cut, he made Kambosos bleed after that, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, bro, he was good. Yeah.
It looked like the fight was going to be stopped in the 10th round.
Yeah.
What, Haney's cut was that bad?
No.
Kambosos
was whipping on Kambosos.
Damn, man.
So, you know,
I feel like a casual right now. Y'all breaking down the
fight. But that's the type of fight that we want to see guys fight. But at the end of the day, I'm not mad at that first fight. You and this guy. Now, imagine this, right? Where does Devin Haney stand if he get into a close fight with Kambosos, the first one, lose? He didn't have the rematch clause wasn't for him. It was for Kambosos. So now you back on top ring. You just lost your little WBC strap. Now nobody's gonna fight you. Nobody.
Yeah, he took a lot of risks.
Nobody ain't gonna fight you. You know what I mean? So I respect him. The jab stuff the first time. He really went in there and fought. And my thing was when I saw him at the weigh-in, I'm like, I know he's gonna jab. I didn't think Devin Haney had nothing left, bro. I'm surprised. He rehydrated well, and he fought hard. He fought well, and he fought 12 rounds, bro. But
so his next fight, you guys think is almost for certain is Loma, as long as Loma beats Jermaine Ortiz?
I say this, man. I say this.
Bob wants them belts. Bob wants them belts.
Hey, right before we got on here, I posted something on Twitter. I said Devin Haney needs to do Lomachenko the same way that Earl did Loma, and Devin Haney liked that tweet, bro. I said move up to. I said he needs to do. I said he needs to do Loma like Earl did Thurman. Excuse me, that like Earl did Thurman. Don't fight him. Don't waste your health on fucking making 135 for a dude that was not gonna give you a shot. He was never gonna give Haney a shot. Move up, fight the winner of Taylor Catterall, or fight T.O. for a vacant on pay-per-view, bro. Easy.
Honestly, that T.O. fight, I think that's the fight he should pursue. Because T.O., like you said about Rolly earlier, T.O.'s a talker. His father's a talker. Haney's father's a talker.
Yes.
The press conference is going to be lit. Yeah. Whether we look at it as a competitive fight or not, because if we're being honest, that T.O. that fought Campa, that didn't look like the same T.O. that fought Loma to me. Listen, that may be my opinion. I think I ain't like that performance, to be honest with you. So I don't think that's quite a competitive fight as of yet. We'll see how he looks against Pedraza. But that's the pay-per-view fight. That's a pay-per-view fight. Again, the press conference for that the press conference alone might be pay-per-view worthy. Just all the trash talk from team.
Hey guys, I want to ask one question to all you individually, and hopefully you guys can answer it. Which one of the 135s that everybody says they're kings, what time they went into a fight when you're like, oh man, this is a 50-50 fight? Oh man,
only T.O. Loma.
Only T.O. and Loma. That's
only
it.
T.O. and Loma, bro. I
Tank
thought about that shit the other day.
Tank and Pedraza. Nah.
These guys haven't been tested, man.
I was mad at that. I rewatched that fight again. I was so mad at Pedraza, man. I don't know what his corner was instructing him to do. He was going southpaw. He was going orthodox. Like he was coming full. Like I just couldn't. I wonder if somebody really sat down with him and say, hey, like what was the game plan for that fight?
For the Tank fight?
Yeah, because like the way he
was doing good at one point.
No, fuck no. He fought like he was Tank, and Tank was fighting like he was supposed to be Pedraza. Like I didn't understand it, bro. Like I just didn't understand the game plan at all. I mean, that's far ago, but I be getting back in my head. I rewatch these fights. I didn't understand.
That was a brutal stoppage, by the way. That how he ended it. He was really just pretty much putting every. Fuck, he was digging his
and then he started doing this shit like, yeah, come on, come on. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, come on, you know what I mean? Beautiful.
In regards to you guys mentioned like Teal versus Haney, that's not gonna happen unless it has a belt. I think that's what makes the Lomachenko fight so important, because it gets Haney faster to where he wants to go. Because it's only that and the Josh Taylor fight that's gonna be for a belt. And Lomachenko, I mean, right now, even though he's not fighting, his name is still ringing bells because of what he did for it. You know, what they say he did for his country, him going to war or whatnot. They have this build up now with him, Jermaine Ortiz, as his comeback fight. Yeah, I think that it means so much to Haney, I think, like I said, to get to the next step and, make him a pay-per-view possible star with the Teal fight looming, I'm sure, in 2 fights.
I think if he moves up, and let's say Taylor moves up that title will be vacant, and they can fight for that vacant WBO.
That's why I say pay-per-view, because if he fights Tio, it don't make no sense unless it's for the vacant WBO. It don't make. I mean, that's the only way that fight can make sense to me. But
no, really does it?
Yeah, why not?
Like I'm saying, like, do you need a belt to be interested in that fight?
Well,
no, we don't, but the networks do. The money men do.
Yeah. And I just don't want to see like the Devin Haney that I just saw weigh in. I don't want to see that Devin Haney. So mind you, again, Loma's fighting at the end of this month. So now you're talking about that fight at its earliest is what, maybe March of 2023? Earliest that fight is going to happen. So now this dude about to go back. He walks around probably 160 something, right? This dude. Now he about to go lose all of this. That shit is unhealthy, man. I mean, granted, all boxing is unhealthy. But the way he looked, bro, that's different. That's different. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I wouldn't risk it.
But they have it planned already. They already know what the potential date is. This has been a build-up since he signed. So I'm sure he will do what he needs to do to keep his weight low and make 135 for the last time.
For sure.
Well, the reason why I do think the Loma fight is going to happen next, and Juan, I muted you because you have mad background noise. To talk, you don't have to unmute. But the reason why I do think the fight is going to happen is because they're fighting what 2 weeks apart, Loma and Haney.
Yeah.
So that things like that don't just happen by mistake by the same promotional company. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking there was a handshake deal. Like, hey, listen, we're gonna put these guys. That way, you guys are not too far apart in terms of timetable, and then we'll make the fight in March and April, whatever date they figure out, and let the best man win. And that's a fight I'm interested in. And I also think that's a fight that'll happen in Madison Square Garden. And if it does, I definitely will be live and direct, and definitely want to see that in person.
Hey, Joel, I think you're right, man. A lot of times when they sign these guys, it's like a bundle package. When Canelo was offered the Charlo fight, the back end of that one was Benavidez as well. So I don't know if he could just take one fight. I think he had to take both, right?
If I'm not mistaken, he signed a 3-fight deal. The two fights with Kambosos and one with Loma.
Yeah, it's a bundle package.
Hey, I'm gonna say 4 words.
Those are handshake. Those aren't like set in stone.
Hey, not set in stone.
4 words. God bless Jermaine Ortiz.
Hey, man,
how you think
Jermaine Ortiz is half Dominican. We've been doing a lot of ups.
What else?
Vega, we could share him. We could share him. He's half Dominican, half Puerto Rican.
Is he gonna get washed or is it gonna be competitive?
I mean, I don't think he's gonna win the fight. I think Loma's gonna win, but Loma's been off a year, is a year older. I don't know. And I'm picking Loma, but I'm not saying.
The kid is not a slouch.
How rusty is he gonna be? He was coming off a year layoff when he lost. He was coming off a year layoff when he lost to Tio.
But
and I'm not saying Ortiz is Tio.
Jermaine has a good tank too, so it'll be interesting.
Very, very. It throws a lot of punches too.
Yep.
So again, and you know what? And this the bias crap I don't like. Right? They talk all of this stuff about Wilder fighting a sparring partner. Well, goddamn, ain't Jermaine Ortiz a sparring partner for Loma?
A lot of these guys are sparring partners. Yeah, a lot of these guys.
Yeah, he was a sparring partner. Why nobody's calling that he's cherry picking a sparring partner? You know what I mean? You know, that's
we just like to talk shit, man.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna sign off. Appreciate all y'all.
Take care, bro.
Try to tune into the next one, man.
I appreciate you hopping on, my man.
Thank you.
Right,
take care.
Yeah.
All right.
What was the most impressive knockout, Joel?
I mean, I thought it was 50-50, but I think I gotta go Caleb Plant, man.
Yeah, because
we already discussed this though.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
By the way, you missed that knockout.
I was on the fucking phone, man.
Yo, this dude, he was watching the fucking Haney fight on his phone.
I was watching both fights.
Boom! I'm like,
because it was a little sloppy to fight at first. It was a little sloppy. We were booing.
He was like, man, this ain't nothing happening in this fight on this phone, motherfucker. And
out of nowhere.
Knockout of the year.
Out of nowhere. That's what gave my family also that sensation. Like, man, this shit is cool, man.
No, I'm glad your family had a good time.
They
and
enjoyed
again,
it, man.
Hopefully they bring more Dominicans out here, and we'll be able to do more stuff like that where we can link up and have a whole little section.
Man, once we
Chop
have
it
our
up.
little sections and we get even for other fights too, man. Once we get the little groups going, hopefully you get more the groups that do the best are the Facebook groups though.
Yeah.
I don't know about Reddit.
I just started the Reddit because it was easier for me to start it, but I got to start the Facebook group.
Yeah, so once that gets going, man, I'm gonna throw everybody in that mother. Everybody that I know is Dominican.
For sure.
Yeah,
Truth is our cousin, man. He Haitian, so he our cousin.
Oh yeah. A lot of my dudes is Haitian, man. A lot of my mentals is Haitian. I go to a Haitian church, dog.
Oh, word? Oh, that's
word up.
Word.
Yeah, man. Those are my brothers right there, man.
But fellas, I'm getting ready to end this. Truth, I appreciate you hopping on. If you could give off your social media as well as your YouTube channel.
You got a YouTube, Truth?
Yeah,
Yes,
Juan, you definitely got to subscribe to his channel. He got one of the best YouTube channels on YouTube. Go hit that subscribe button to his channel.
Sure.
Let them know where they can find you.
Hey, you can find me at A-Side Boxing Talk on YouTube. A-Side Boxing Talk on YouTube. Same handle on Twitter. Same handle on Instagram. A-Side Boxing.
I'm going to do that right now.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
All right, brothers. Take care, man.
All right, fellas. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you go check out A-Side Boxing Talk. Again, one of the best boxing YouTube channels on YouTube. He's stamped by bro, so you know I ain't gonna talk no bullshit. So go support. And all right, guys. Until next, I'm about to catch his Yankee game. So
my man.
All right, guys. Have a good time, man. Peace.
Bro. Yeah.